Hello there, and welcome to another Song for Yesterday, looking back at the classic UK Eurovision national final. This time, we're looking at a Song for Europe 1990. I was 10 when this was first shown, and I watched it live that night on BBC One. Indeed, I remember this title sequence with recent UK Eurovision stars like Scott Fitzgerald, Vicky, Ryder, Ricky. Ricky's backing singers? Makes a change, I suppose, from Lulu and Cliff Richard. In the studio, Terry is our host, and this is a dinner jacket and dicky bow year. He's also got a panel of judges with him to guide the telephone voters. There's Gloria Honeyford, Tim Rice, Kathy McGowan, and Carl Davis. You wait and see. This'll end well. So let's get started. And first off, it's Better Be Good to Me by Kelly. Kelly was probably the edgiest looking Song for Europe entrant since Pussyfoot 10 years earlier, not that there was much competition in the 80s. She's also a great vocalist and gives this likeable soft rock song plenty of attack. But never mind what I think, let's hear from Gloria Honeyford.
This is a song that from the beginning just never lets go.
Well, she liked it. Nothing too controversial there. Perhaps in 1990 this panel thing's going to be a bit dull. Next up, it's Song 2, That Old Feeling Again by Stephen Lee Garden.
I don't know how I got that old feeling again. I never planned it, don't understand it. I couldn't say exactly when I got that old feeling again.
That Old Feeling Again was written by Mike Moran, one half of that well-known UK Eurovision duo, Pearl Carr and Teddy Johnson. I have to say that where I come from, his name would be Mike Moran, and Moran never sounds right to me. I bet Gloria would agree. Well, Stephen Lee Garden was already a champion of this sort of thing, having won ITV's New Faces competition a couple of years earlier. Bit of a shame for him then that Michael Ball came along and stole both his act and his haircut. Still, he's a terrific singer who does good work with this rather old-fashioned ballad.
It could easily be a big hit in America. This isn't to say that Stephen's...
Tim Rice thought this was a potential song for Cher, perhaps the best joke of the evening, and he liked Stephen as a performer. This was followed by a vintage bit of Wogan banter where he got to be rude to both Tim and Gloria.
It's written and composed. That was ungallant, I beg your pardon.
Song 3 was Never Give Up by Tom Hardwell.
I'll be right here beside you. Never give up on love. You can try, love is so strong. Don't ever give up on, never give up on love. The feeling's growing strong.
Back in 1990, Little Me quite liked this, and indeed it does have a catchy melody. However, as a total package, it's really not that good. It needs much more oomph and attitude. Imagine Kelly and the team behind Better Be Good to Me handling this, and it would have been a bit more respectable. As it is, we've got a keyboard player straight from the pub, and a lady on a tambourine who looks like she was expecting to be a guest at a wedding that evening instead. Still, I'm sure the panel will be very encouraging.
I mean, there's nothing memorable about it. I'm sorry about that, but there isn't.
Oh dear. What comes next is a fascinating moment of TV. You might expect Kathy to vaguely compliment some aspect of this, or to damn it with faint praise. She could even have gone down the Simon Cowell, Craig Rebel Horwood route and attacked it with such gusto that the audience ended up on Tom Hardwell's side. Instead, she politely and charmingly tells the truth. Not a great song, not well produced, and a band that looked all wrong. Kathy was perfectly reasonable, and sadly quite right. And in 30 brief seconds, song 3 was murdered on live TV. Sorry, Tom, but never give up. Number 4 was Give a Little Love Back to the World by Emma. On the night, I have to admit, I missed this song. An ice cream van pulled up outside just at this point, and out I went. When I returned with my 99, I remember my dad told me, "You've missed a song that's going to win," and he was right. Give a Little Love Back to the World was a great pop anthem with an environmental message that was absolutely on point for the UK in early 1990. Young Emma, wearing what appears to be one of Victoria Wood's old suits, was possibly a wee bit pitchy. When I say possibly, I mean definitely and consistently, but I'm trying to be nice. She was greatly assisted by a backing troupe including UK Euro legends Miriam Stockley, Sam Blue, and the guy from the touring company, last seen in this stage in white jumpers.
What did you think of that one, Carl?
I just loved it. I just thought it was wonderful.
The audience cheered with a mixture of delight for Emma and relief that Carl wasn't going to do a Cathy McGowan on her.
So congratulations, Paul.
Number 5 was Ball and Chain by Les McKeown.
In the middle of the night, I dream of holding you closer. In the middle of the night, I want to whisper your name. In the middle of the night, I want to tell you I love you. Why is our love a ball and chain?
Back in front of the TV with an ice cream to work my way through, I didn't pay a great deal of attention to this. Ball and Chain was a sort of late 80s Rod Stewart style pop song with a good key change, and Les McKeown gives a strong performance. It had clearly been decided that Terry would make no reference to his time in the Bay City Rollers. If he had worn a flash of the tartan, that might have helped, although it might also have reminded us of Ricky Peebles and Only the Light.
To whisper your name.
Gloria Honeyford.
Back at the panel, Gloria Honeyford must have been warned not to mention the Rollers either, although she drops as many hints as she can. You'll be relieved to know she liked the song and the singer. Song 6 was Face in the Crowd by Simon Spiro.
And every face in the crowd is you. The only name in my life is your name. And there's nothing that I can do. It's such a tragedy. Oh, I sleep through eternity night. My dream in a rich illusion. But I hope I still recognize when the face in the crowd is you.
This was a Radio 2 style pop ballad with another nice key change. Less guitar than some in the competition, more saxophone. Far and away the best bit of this was Simon Spiro's terrific vocals, and to a lesser extent his very shiny hair. If he'd got to Zagreb, he would have found himself up against the similar-looking Ketil Stokkan from Norway. They could even have pranked Frank Neff by singing at each other's rehearsals. I'd love to hear Simon do Brandenburger Tor. It's at this point that things begin to get really dicey with the panel. Put out perhaps that he'd been upstaged by Cathy McGowan, Tim Rice decided he wanted to murder a song too, so he slaughtered Face in the Crowd right there and then. And having tasted blood, he decided to take a gratuitous swipe at Give a Little Love Back to the World as well, although he did have the decency not to name it.
It's the one I think is going to win, so I'm rather glad this is the last song I'm going to be commenting on.
Thank you, Tim.
Listen to the nervous laughter. The panel wasn't supposed to be like this, and there's still another Cathy McGowan judging to go. The penultimate song was Sentimental Again by Kim Goody.
Why don't we put on this lovely 60s records we find and then watch a movie that was made in black and white. Share a sofa and talk all night and let's get sentimental again.
Kim Goody was surely too young for this nostalgic song about the 1960s, but that can be forgiven when she sings it so well. It's still a bit radio too nice to be either a chart hit or a Eurovision winner, but I do think it has a certain something special about it. Up at the panel, it was Cathy McGowan's turn again, and I think I detect fear behind the eyes of even Terry Wogan at what might come next.
Final opinion?
In fact, Cathy sort of liked it, although saying it was a nice dress and that the song would be a decent album track was hardly a ringing endorsement. She did love Kim Goody, and once again you have to say that Cathy was entirely fair and polite, even if she didn't play her part as expected and brought out the worst in Tim Rice. Any wonder she's never been a judge on a reality show after this.
She herself has got a great career ahead of her, so that one gets my vote tonight.
Thanks to Cathy McGowan.
Last but not least was Where I Belong by John Miles. Like Les McKeown, 70s star John was not properly introduced to us, so his song had to do all the talking. And it's a big, sweeping ballad with great vocals. The performance is very simple, but there's still several things to distract me. The bolo tie, John's hair, which is blow-dried and L-netted to keep it hair where it belongs, and then there's that mysterious keyboard on top of the piano, which he never goes near at any point. If John had got through to Zagreb, he would have found himself fighting for votes with Ireland's Liam Riley. Liam had the better song, John had the better hairdo. Understandably, after all this year's trauma, the BBC dispensed with a panel for several years. But before they bowed out, could Carl Davis clinch some sort of moral victory from the jaws of defeat? Phew, yes, he just loved this one. Well, Terry Wogan was obviously concerned about points of view, so he gave a brief sermon on the work of the panel before the letters came in. After that, it was time for a recap of the songs and the phone numbers before viewers got a little time to cast their votes. When they came back later in the evening, Terry was ready at the scoreboard for the televote results. After another recap, the mysterious Gordon Robson read out the votes with as little drama as possible.
For song number 4, Give a Little Love Back to the World, is 97,625 votes.
And it went as predicted. Emma won by a landslide, John Miles was second, Kim Goody was third, and the two songs that were savaged by the judges received some of the smallest televote totals ever seen on UK TV.
You might say the runaway winner with almost 98,000 votes this year is song number 4, Give a Little Love Back to the World. And that's the song that's going to be representing the United Kingdom at this year's Eurovision Song Contest in May. We've had 2 seconds. This could be a winner for us.
Terry presented composer Paul Curtis with his award, and then, in a nice Song for Europe tradition, Emma proved just as awkward to interview as most of her predecessors, before the credits ran over her winning reprise. On the one hand, it's a shame that the weakest singer of the night won at the expense of so many strong vocalists, but Give a Little Love Back to the World was surely the right choice, coming a respectable 6th in Zagreb. And funnily enough, on the big night, Emma did really well. Perhaps even better was that this was the first UK entry to break into the top 40 since 1984. Well, before we go, just time to see how I would have voted. So, with the old scoreboard, it's song number 1, Better Be Good to Me. I like that one, 12 points. Song 2, That Old Feeling Again. Well, sorry to Stephen and Mike, but it's rock bottom, 5 points. Song 3, Never Give Up. Well, I liked it more than Cathy McGowan did, 8 points. Song 4, Give a Little Love Back to the World. Well, I agree with the general public, 15 points. Song 5, Ball and Chain, 7 points. Song 6, Face in the Crowd. Simon Spyro could do better than this, and he will. 6 points. Song 7, Sentimental Again. That's a good one too. 10 points. And Song 8, Where I Belong, gets 9 points. Now, look at this for a fancy scoreboard. Way, Give a Little Love Back to the World, my winner then. So that's it from me, and 1990, and A Song for Yesterday. Goodbye.